Hello and welcome to the FanGirl Society. Today is FanGirl Friday and we will be discussing young adult novels. Now, there are a lot of young adult novels in the world, and to just discuss young adult novels would take a really long time. So we're going to get a little more specific, but even this branch that we're going to be talking about today is pretty large. So bear with me, I'm going to hit some basics. So young adult novels are pretty infamous, famous, whatever you want to use, for having romantic relationships in them all the time. Boy meets girl, girl meets boy, girl meets vampire, whatever. And that's not a problem. I think that generally young people can fall in love and whatnot, but today I'm going to be a little cynical Cynthia, cynical Susie, one of those two. And we're going to break this down, talk about why this bothers me so much. Romantic relationship in young adult novels. All of us have I've got notes today. All of us have our favorite or least favorite couples in the young adult world. There are many to choose from. We've got Edward and Bella, Tris and Four, Katniss and Peeta, Harry and Ginny. That was embarrassing. Ron and Hermione, Clary and Jace, Percy and Annabelle, Thomas and Teresa, Augustus and Hazel, Katniss and Gale, if you like talking about them more than Katniss and Peeta. So I have narrowed down romantic relationships in young adult novels into 3 different problems. And not all of these couples that I've just mentioned have these issues in writing and story and plotline or whatever, but there definitely are some that issue all of them. First off, there's a problem of timing. I think the number of pages it takes to get to I love you in most young adult books is less than 100, which is scary because usually, 50 pages is getting to know the main character, 20 pages is getting to know the other love interest, and then the remaining 30 pages are rapidly spent of main character discovering that, oh, why, yes, I am in love with you. Just unrealistic, which is, I think, the main thing that bothers me about all of these together, is a lot of young adult character romances are really unrealistic, and I think that can be a bad thing. And I'm not saying you shouldn't read young adult novels. I think those are really awesome. They're really great. Fun reads, quick reads, and sometimes they can turn out to be the best thing that's ever happened. Is this the right book I'm pointing to? Yes! I think a lot of teenagers do express themselves really quickly in real life, but these books, they exaggerate everything even to a greater degree to where these 17, 16-year-olds are deciding that they want to get married / be in love with each other after a month, maybe. Maybe there's nothing bad with the short timing. It just, to me, doesn't feel real, and I just, when young adult novels are obviously using the words I love you, especially after they've just known each other for no time at all, it just gets under my skin. And that is issue number 1. Issue number 2, a lot of these feelings are based off of, at least at first, are based off of looks. Which, people are attracted to each other physically, whatever, that's not a problem. Well, a lot of people in these books are just extremely attractive. It's kind of like Hollywood is seeping into young adult fiction, which sucks, because you want to be able to feel like these could be real people that you meet. Which is why I think Harry Potter is one of, for many reasons, a great young adult read, because never is it, I don't think the word hot as used for appearance is ever used in Harry Potter, and it's very down to earth. Hermione had big teeth and big hair, and she was really annoying. Ron loved her anyway, and you see growth, and that's why this, and I think Percy Jackson why books that take place over long periods of time where you kind of see them growing up as they're younger and you can really follow those feelings developing is awesome, because if there's no development and the timing of when they meet and they fall in love or whatever is so short, it feels undeveloped, which is, I think, one of the main problems. And I was talking about looks, but now we're back to timing because that's I have an example about timing and looks combined from A Kiss in Time by Alex Flynn. I'm sorry, sir, but I had to read it. Okay, great. Okay, so they get to the tower. They see Aurora sleeping because she's under the curse. Whatever. This, to me, sums up all of the shallow young adult romances in novels in one little section. Jack and Travis in the tower. Would you look at her? Travis interrupts my thoughts again. I am. I stare at the top of her dress, which she's really filling out, let me tell you. I feel this incredible urge to touch her, but I know it's wrong because she's asleep. But the weird thing is, it's not her body I notice the most, it's her face. Because noticing a face before a body is weird. So that was looks. You know, like where most of the characters, they just see the person, they're like, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. Like Edward and Bella. Okay, I get it. Edward's like a vampire, so he's supposed to be attractive. But we won't even get into Twilight right now. I'm pretty sure Triss thought Four was attractive. Clary thought Jace was attractive. Once again, like half angel, so okay. Augustus was attractive, which is okay because I think John Green leveled it out by, I think, clear stating that Hazel wasn't this absolutely gorgeous person. She was a very real person, and Augustus just happened to be hot, which is, that's cool. Okay, and here's the timing. So he's staring at her. What, are you in love with her? Travis says. You're staring like an idiot. The weird thing is, I think I am. He finds a sleeping hot girl in the tower, and he's in love. Happy day! But here's the biggest thing for me that I wish young adult novels would change. These relationships don't have problems. Like, they'll have skirmishes or little arguments or little whatever, but there's no real problems in these relationships, and they're just shown as perfect. And the two main books that I go to when I think, okay, those relationships definitely show problem, and these characters are showing effort to like work through that, is probably the Harry Potter series and the Hunger Games series. Clearly, Ron and Hermione were not the perfect couple. J.K. Rowling said, like, okay, and while we're on that, J.K. Rowling was not saying that Ron and Hermione were not meant for each other. If you go and read the whole article, she's saying that Harry and Hermione like might have gotten along better, but Ron and Hermione do love each other. They're just gonna have problems. But every relationship has problems, and everyone should probably go to, what did she said something funny about wizard counseling or whatever. That's the point though. Like, that's real. Like, people have problems. People aren't perfect together. People aren't perfect by themselves. And young adult novels need to start putting that into their books more, even though, you know, that's kind of a scary subject. But you can't just keep saying that relationships are perfect, because then you have the Disney effect where people are waiting for the Prince Charming, and I mean, he'll show up, but he's gonna be damaged, girl. And obviously there's like Edward and Bella who get into fights about werewolves, and that's not real. I guess just, you know, real relationships, you've got to put effort into it, and you got to work hard to make these things work. And I don't see a lot of characters in current young adult novels working hard to get where they need to be. I don't know. I just hope that in the future there are some writers out there that really incorporate real relationships into books and real people that aren't perfect. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that young adult novels do a good job at portraying realistic relationships, or do you kind of agree with the things I've talked about? Weekly update. As I said earlier, I am reading The Girl Who Never Was by Skylar Dorset, maybe? Very young adulty, like I was saying. Kind of contains all of these issues. But it's a pretty easy read, fun read. I've laughed a couple times, which is nice. And so, it's not bad. Tune in next Friday for FanGirl Friday. We might have a Mayhem Monday, which would be awesome. Laura says hi from camp. Subscribe, please.